I hate to say this, but a lot of street art being made today kind of sucks. I mean, everyone's doing the same thing just so they can put it online, which I guess I'm also sort of doing, but you know what I mean. The wings, the Instagram handles, the crappy Banksy knockoffs. These hearts, I hate these f***ing hearts. It might sound like I think the internet ruined street art, but that's not true. There was a point during the early days of YouTube and Vimeo when really interesting street art was being documented. Thanks to an improved video component for DSLR cameras, early YouTube channels are able to highlight artists in a way that just wasn't possible before. I think the best example of this was the Crack and Shine series, created by TopSafe for the Vans YouTube channel offthewall.tv. It's hard to explain exactly how novel this was. TopSafe is a sort of indie book publishing company that focuses primarily on art, so that makes sense. But Vans financing something like this was a bit bold. It's not necessarily brand safe. Lawyers are probably pissed at you, and I don't know how you'd even get the money to do it unless you already had the cash like Vans did. The series was filmed by Will Robson Scott and highlighted different street artists from across the globe. Each episode captures the thoughts and feelings of the artists before, during, and after making art. Production was incredibly restrained, with Will tagging along as the artists creep through dilapidated buildings, across very narrow ledges, and even at one point sneak into a Parisian catacomb. They also don't just restrict themselves to hidden areas. These guys were bold as f***. That's actually kind of the theme with most of these guys. They don't give a f***. Which I guess makes sense, because besides the police, what's anybody really going to do if they see you paint? Citizen's arrest? All these videos are awesome, but I have a few favorites. The Amsterdam one, really good. These dudes are scaling super high cranes and sketchy ledges, and I love that it ends with them just sort of munching out on crappy food, because that's what I would do. Paris is also great. We get to hear Andres Torreva reminisce about how he got his start in street art. These days, he has huge deals with major luxury brands, so it's pretty cool to see him get his hands dirty. Barcelona is fun because we get to watch the main artist do this really intricate piece near these abandoned buildings, and then he moves to just pissing off the locals in the city. I think my favorite is Horfee. He's actually in 2 videos because the footage from the original Vans video was expanded to be its own mini movie called Death is Home. The first time I saw this, I was completely captured by how unique his art style was. I hadn't seen anything as raw and like almost fluid or animated as the pieces he was putting up. The lettering design is just completely zoned and fully removed from the normal tags you'll see in the US or Europe or wherever. Horfee put out a really cool book last year called Purple Rains. It showcases work he made between 2016 and 2022, and it's done on this carbon paper that's normally used for tattooing, which gives it this very fluid, raw look. So, check out all the Crack and Shine videos. Not only are they all great, but they serve as a peek into a really transitional time between the internet and art.